Hello everyone, how are you doing? Happy New Year. In this week, I will show you my garden in January and I will also share with you what I think is the most important things when you start a cut flower garden. Alright? The very important question before you start a cut flower garden is to ask yourself, why should you go cut flowers? What are you going to do with the flowers? Are you going to leave them in a garden to make your garden beautiful, or are you gonna cut them and use them for your flower arrangement to decorate your home, or maybe to give to your friends, your family, or you wanna sell them? Your answer can be very simple, like, I love growing plants. I love growing anything in my garden. When I started my cut flowers garden, I didn't mean to start a cut flower garden. I just love growing. I just love to have beautiful flowers in my garden. Then I got I got more passionate about it. I arranged the flowers and then I gave to the neighbor, and eventually, I sell my flower arrangement to people in my neighborhood. Why do I ask you this question? Because I watched Daniel from Not Lawn Flower Farm asking everyone this question. I think it's so important because it's going to make gardening journey, growing cut flower journey more meaningful to all of us. And I just think, it's nice to include in this video. And when you find out, what is the reason you grow cut flowers, maybe you can write it down in your journey, because it's gonna be a long journey and it's gonna be a lot of work. And sometimes when you get tired, like myself, when I get like exhausted in the garden, then I think about it why I grow cut flowers. Now, the next question that you can ask yourself is, what kind of flowers that you are going to grow? And that's why it's important for you to answer the first question, why should you grow cut flower first? Because that will determine the flowers that you should grow. For example, if you are going to grow cut flowers because you love gardening, you like to grow almost everything like me, the answer for this question will be anything. You can grow any kind of flowers and you're gonna be happy. You're gonna see them from little seed to seedlings, then become like a big flower for your garden to see and enjoy them. But if you are going to grow cut flowers because you like to make a bouquet, you like to make arrangement for your home, for your family, your friend, then you should start looking on bouquets, garden bouquets on Instagram, my Instagram, or maybe my video in summertime, the flowers that I grow and I arrange them. This flower gonna have like longer stem, stronger stem, and more specialized for a bouquet, a flower arrangement. If you are going to grow cut flowers because you like to make money, if you are going to sell them to florists, that's like a whole different story. You maybe focus on flowers that are profitable. Maybe you focus on flowers that easy to grow and doesn't require a lot of maintenance. And here's my little tip if you are going to make a list of flowers that you wanna grow in 2024. I always keep in mind of these 4 categories of flowers. The first category are the flowers that are very easy to grow, because this group are going to make me feel happy like at the end of the season, because they are going to bloom with very minimal care and effort. And there are something like daffodil, tulips, zinnias, dahlia, sunflowers. And the second category are the flowers that I love them so much. Although some of them are not easy to grow, although some of them take a few years for them to bloom, something like sweet pea, I have to grow them in a greenhouse in fall and then, make sure they don't get too cold, protect them. Also something like peonies, once you plant them in the ground, it can take them like 3 to 5 years to fully bloom and I can cut them for my arrangement. And the third categories of flowers that I always keep in mind are the flowers that will support the environment, the ecosystem in my garden, the wildlife in my garden, and most of these flowers are native, something like rudbeckia, echinacea, if you are in, East Coast like me. And also some flowering trees, flowering shrubs too that will support, the pollinators. And also some kind of weeds like dandelion. I don't grow them, but they, I let them grow on my lawn, on my yard, in my garden too, because they support the wildlife. And the last category of flowers are random flowers. It can be something like flowers that I see Montidon grows them, flowers that I see Daniel, Not Long Flower Farm, or other gardening cut flowers garden YouTube channel grow them, and I feel like, oh, I should try them. Random flowers that I see on sale, on discount from my local nursery, and it's like $2 or $3. So I just grab them and I just tuck them in, anywhere in my garden and see how it goes. It's just, be a little surprise. I think more than half of the time I turned out that I love these random flowers and keep growing them. And the next question is, where should you grow the flowers? This is the most difficult question for me all the time, and I am still struggling with this. But it's better 3 years later after I started my cut flower garden. It's difficult for me because I would like to cut these flowers to make arrangements, to sell them a little bit, and at the same time I would like to enjoy them in my garden too. So I have to be very thoughtful where I plant these flowers. And at the same time, I still have to keep in mind that I should grow, right flowers in the right place so they bloom beautifully, they are healthy, they're happy where they are planted. Yeah, it's difficult to explain, so let me give you a tour, of what I do in my garden. Here's my front yard, and I have no fence here, and there's a lot of deer, not just reindeer, like real deer that will eat your flowers right to the ground. So I grow the bearded irises here and dusty miller because they don't eat these plants. And I also have some greens, evergreen, because those are deer resistant. You can see deer eat that plant so bad. And this spot I grow catmint. It has beautiful purple flowers in spring. And here is flowering baby breast spirea. And the deer don't eat this too. And because there's a lot of deer, I grow a lot of native trees and shrubs to support the wildlife. Since I cannot grow like the ornamental flowers here because the deer gonna eat it. If you have a garden that has evergreen, boxwood, and the layout that looks like the garden in front of you here, you can always plant cut flowers in between this boxwood and evergreen. Instead of putting mulch in between the evergreen and the boxwood, you can plant cut flowers like this forget-me-not. You can bury some daffodils or tulips. You can also tuck in some flowering perennials like this lavender. If you have a wall that receives a lot of sunlight, you can grow like clematis or climbing rose. If you don't know how to build the trellis like that, you can ask your husband to do it. If he doesn't want to do it for you, you can like cry and show him that you're so upset, and eventually he will build it for you. If you have small growing space, you can create a garden like this next to your house. And this garden meet the 4 categories of flowers that I mentioned previously. I have this coming rose, which is easy to grow and I love it so much. I have some poppy that will bloom for me in spring. I can cut and arrange it. I have some rudbeckia, which is native flowers, also easy to grow. Also, I can cut for my bouquets. I have the hollyhock, which will make a big statement for this garden in summertime because it's gonna grow so tall and beautiful. I have irises that very easy to grow and they are beautiful and I can cut it for Mother Day. The hedge in front of you here is the combination of 3 kinds of azaleas. Azalea is one of the underrated flowers. I love them because they have a lot of benefits. The foliage look beautiful all year round. Some variety has burgundy color in wintertime, some of them just have the green and they will make your garden and your landscape looks good all year round. Around Mother Day they will bloom beautifully and I can cut them for my bouquets. Plus they are very easy to grow. You can see here they are next to the shed. You know, the soil is pretty bad here too. And they are underneath these big trees. But they healthy. They easy. Although we can incorporate cut flowers anywhere in your backyard, but it's nice to have some area that you will not cut the flowers. So you can enjoy them. Your family can enjoy them. Like this pool garden. I have the roses here, but I barely cut it. These hydrangea, I cut them sometime, but I don't cut from this side of the pool. So I go around the back and I cut the flowers on the other side of the pool. You can see this mountain hydrangea and you see like a lot of cut on this side. What he's doing? Finn, what you doing? Hello? If you have a garden spot in your backyard that is underneath a lot of trees, you can grow, you know, some kind of shrubs like that azalea, rhododendron, or like this little hellebore that will also bloom for you in winter time. And I have a lot of them here. And they are easy to grow and they can be cut for my bouquets. Here's another example of incorporating cut flowers into your evergreen garden or existing garden or in your landscape. You can see in between the trees here, I have the hollyhock, I have rudbeckia. This spot receives a lot of sunlight, so I reserve the spot for flowers and plants that love a lot of sunlight, like the ornamental grass, like lavender, like echinacea. I grow the roses in front of the greenhouse because this spot receives a lot of morning sun and protected from afternoon sun. And also I would like to create, you know, like a charming English garden style. Oh my goodness. Still trying to bloom. If you are focusing on growing cut flowers to sell, to make money, you can create something like this. Like a lot of rectangle rows, so you can stake the flowers very easily, plus the irrigation. But in this garden, I also incorporate some, native flowers here too for the wildlife. If you focus on growing vegetables and you have a garden growing space like this, like a lot of raised bed, you can always incorporate cut flowers in between the vegetables. And underneath the hoop here is ranunculus. You can grow tulips in your vegetable raised bed, and by April, by May, you cut the flowers, you arrange them, and you will have this spot for whatever vegetable you grow. For me, I grow tomatoes, bell peppers, or cucumber in this bed. And guess what? Some vegetables have beautiful flowers that is edible, like this lettuce. You can cut them, arrange them, or you can even use it for decorating your food. And if you like to grow random stuff like me, you can create like a cottage look garden like this. Then you can tuck in any kind of flowers, any kind of plants. One of the important tricks to create a beautiful cottage garden is to plant everything very close to each other. So it's look abundant and people kind of ignore that you have a million kind of flowers inconsistently. I think I want to show you my landscape plan a little bit. This is the cottage garden, right? The echinacea really, make this garden so colorful in this spot. The straw flowers. And this is the balloon flowers. I think it's called bronze pink with white. And back on this side, I have the yarrow. But then you're gonna need a lot of compost, to feed all those flowers that plant so tight to each other. And also have some, repeated drops or flowers like this sedum autumn joy and the hydrangea here, because it will tie everything together and make the garden look more uniform. Ta-da! I'm cold. Anyway, I want to let you know that if you don't know what to do yet with your garden, with your space, with your landscape, please take your time, observe the condition of that area, including the amount of sunlight, if the soil is wet or is it dry. How about, like the deer, rabbit, the animals that could come to eat your flowers. But I know some of you guys like to, renovate the big thing. My only concern is that when you, build like a permanent structure like a shed or a greenhouse, that's gonna be difficult to change later on. Also, when you cut a tree, like a mature tree, that's like a big decision. I have a tree in my backyard that I took about 2 or 3 years to make that decision to cut that tree. I'm glad I took the time to make decision, because if I cut this tree like the very first year, I would cut it right to the ground and we wouldn't make a gnome house like this. One of the reasons we make this tree a gnome house because we feel so bad when we cut the tree and we wanna still have it in our garden, and then the magic happened. The tree is trying to grow back, and these are all the new branches that come right off from the gnome house. There is also side branches, and last spring there's a bird make a nest right here. That made me feel so much better after we cut this tree. Jason cut off the bark from this spot and make this little door by himself. He ordered a little thing from Amazon. And the roof is cedar wood that Jason cut them piece by piece and then put them together on the structure. He also built windows around the trunk and also make a chimney. It also took us a year to plan for the greenhouse, to find the perfect location, and to do all the research. Our greenhouse is 12 by 24 feet, and we used like old-fashioned brick for the foundation. And this is just a regular natural stone plate. Underneath it we have like the crushed rock, like the dust rock, that make the soil solid. We have 2 industrial fans to cool down the greenhouse in summertime. And also we put shade cloth on the ceiling, on the roof, to, make the greenhouse not too hot in July and August. The greenhouse is facing the east, so the sun will go up there, and then around noontime the sun will come from the south side. So the sun will continue to move, and then it will set right behind the greenhouse right there. And that's why we purposely locate the greenhouse in front of this cottonwood tree, this very big tree, because in summertime it will provide shade for the greenhouse to protect it from afternoon hot sun. And in wintertime this tree doesn't have any leaf on it, and the sun can shine through the greenhouse, and it will heat up our unheated greenhouse naturally. We don't have anything to heat the greenhouse at all except the sunlight. Yeah.
Would it be cool to say? Yeah, intuition, just wanna follow intuition. All my senses tell me I know what you've been thinking. I've been feeling, what if we got up, left this party? Cause I can see you're probably gonna be scrolling feeds all night long.
And the last question that you should ask yourself before you create a cut flower garden is how you grow the flowers. I have to be honest with you, I hesitate to tell you how to grow flowers in my YouTube channel here. For my entire life, I've been educated, I've been trained to do things in certain way. And most of the time, there's only one way to accomplish something. And I feel like this learning method kind of suppress, kind of limit my creativity, kind of limit my inner passion somehow. Although, the system doesn't tell me, Crane, don't do this, Crane, don't do that. But still, I feel like scared to try something new. When I started gardening, I feel like, oh my God, it's my garden. It's my flowers, it's my vegetables. I can do whatever I want, And if you follow me for a while, I'm more like designing, creating something, following my instinct, following my heart, instead of try to stick to the rule. And that's why I feel like, if you watch my channel, I want you to feel that you have to always do things the way I do. I would like you to explore how to grow zinnias on your own way. As somebody direct sow zinnia, somebody start them indoors, somebody start them in a grow light, somebody put them in a milk jug. There's so many ways to do it. I know all of us want to have beautiful flowers in summertime, but I feel like it will help us to have inner peace in a long term if we focus on gardening thing that we do today, like sowing the seed now, versus trying to put pressure on ourselves that, oh my God, we're gonna have the most biggest, beautiful seniors in summer. I would like you to, try your own way and have fun with it. I think that is the best way to garden.
So would it be cool to say, do you wanna escape without ending the night? We could drive through all of the city lights, or we could find a two-song place, just you and I. That'd be nice. Do you want to escape with me? Oh, oh, oh. Do you want to escape with me? Yeah, I see you there biting your cherry lips, giving me a hint at an early exit. Can't believe, gotta pinch your cheek to know this isn't fantasy. Right, skip the chit chat cause that shit cheap. Doesn't matter either way cause I can hear a thing. Wanna get some air to breathe cause I can see you falling asleep. Your friends are drunk.